Greetings, Internet. My name is No Limits Nick, and today I am bringing you the World of Warcraft. This is actually not a new game for me. This is a game I've been playing since it has come out back in 2004. But I'm starting a new adventure today on a race that I have been dying for in the game for since its inception in BC, and that is the Mag'har Orc. For those who don't know, these are the brown skin orcs, and today I decided to make one myself since I just unlocked the allied race last night. And I went with the class of the good old-fashioned warrior. It's actually really weird leveling or beginning to level again because I have not visited these zones since they were redone in Cataclysm. So that's what, 6 years or so, 8 years. So I don't know a lot of these quests. Hell, I'm not even sure if I remember a lot of these quests. But we chose our first zone, which is a fan favorite of myself, or I should say one of my, if not my favorite leveling zone back in vanilla days, Hillsbrad Foothills. So I figured I'd do this while I tell you guys some stories about my times, playing WoW, my various adventures through the expansions, and what I've done over the game, or over the course of the game. Because WoW is a game I have grown up a lot with. I have seen myself go from like a person who's never played RPGs before. This was probably my first RPG I ever played, and it's an MMO for crying out loud. What do you do here? Click on this guy? Yeah, I do. And so I kind of see myself grow from like this very noobish-esque type guy to I would say a really decent player if I being frank myself. With this guy, dumbass. Oh, the developer's having a lot of fun with this one. I just spoke to him, get him out of my way. And so I think when I speak of World of Warcraft, I think one of the first zones come to mind is Hillsbrad Foothills because of the very famous Torn Mill South Shore battles. That's actually one of the few things that got me hooked to this game in the first place. I remember seeing my dad play his. Who's this guy? Oh, I think this guy's trying to pretend to be certain people in the game. And what was I saying? I remember seeing my dad in these huge, massive battles with potentially obviously tons of people vying for control of Terra Mill and South Shore because there was just nothing else at the time.
We will persevere.
In terms of PvP, there were no battlegrounds, and so that's what hooked me. For my first character, I would say oh god, what was it? It was a dwarf warrior, I believe. I remember it was a dwarf warrior my first time being in Dun Moreau, and I think all of us have that experience of like being our first character in WoW, and you just give them that introduction. You're like, wow, this is a huge game, and you don't know how big it is until you leave that first zone, or your first introduction zone, where you're going to Karanos, Brill, Razor Hill.
What is it?
And then you start hearing stuff around, like these rumors when you go into the states. It's like, South Shore's under attack, or Terra Mill's under attack. We need defense now. I'll take you for the gold. And so that I think what's hooked me. Was I awful at the game? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes, I was bad at the game. I don't think I clicked all of my spells, but I knew how to press the spells within my range. I think I tried going from like 1 to 6 or something. Oh man, it has been a very long time since I've been here. I need to go over here, I think. But I would do that classic noobish thing of making a character, not knowing what I'm doing, delete it, and then make another character. Because for some odd reason, I had this thing where like if I got past level 10, I was committed to that character now. I was stuck with that character for forever and all time, which is obviously isn't true, but the grind to get to level from 1 to 60 was immense. It was one of the biggest grinds you could probably put yourself through, and the game wasn't friendly, I think, to specific classes. Probably the most famous one is the Warrior, as we are playing now, but Classic WoW is a completely different game than what we are playing right now. I'll get into my thoughts on Classic WoW later on, hopefully someday. Gotta turn on auto loot of all things? Come on, no limits, Nick. Don't want to be wasting your time. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm supposed to capture them. That's not supposed to do. There we go. Okay, now I get it. I was being stupid earlier. But, it's not about, like, zones that capture your that capture your, they just enthrall you, basically. It's like, this game's amazing. And I need to play this game forever and all time now. And that's kind of what happened to me. Oh yeah, I was mentioning like my noobishness of creating these characters, getting them to level 10 and then stopping. I did this for a long time actually throughout vanilla. I probably did it for half my time until I settled upon 2 characters, I believe. First one being a dwarf warrior, obviously, for some odd reason. But the other one was something I got inspiration from my dad, and that was an undead rogue. Because him and I used to battle each other back in vanilla. He was Horde, I was Alliance. What's this guy over here? Probably gotta go deeper because there's a quest over here. But him and I would play PvP against each other. We would do battlegrounds in Warsong Gulch, in a rocky basin. And I don't think I would always get him, but I just remember seeing like the rogues, and they're just infamous for their stuns. I think all warriors have a charge. That didn't last very long. So you put that in the hands of a guy who doesn't play war, who doesn't know how to play RPGs, and you just but then a guy who doesn't know how to play RPGs, you're in for a kind of a rude awakening. Did I have a lot of fun playing World of Warcraft without being them? Oh, hell yeah. I love playing the game. Did I ever reach max level in vanilla? No. No, I did not. I would not reach max level for a very, very long time. And it was a feeling I would not experience for years on end because I just didn't know how leveling worked. There were certain zones I just didn't understand. There's one particular zone I hope to get to that I can really share this story on, was that I just grinded a lot of mobs. I just ran out of quests. I didn't know where to go.
What is it? Victory for Sylvanas. Speak quickly. Farewell.
And he's trying to get rid of him. That dialogue right there. Oh god, Murlocs. Oh, I remember these Murlocs hiding beside South Shore. Yes, I've been to both South Shore and Terra Mill, excuse me. And so I have these little fond memories I have. Wrong button. rare mob. What's rare? Not a rare mob. Oh shit. There we go. But some of the grind of World of Warcraft, but that's what vanilla was. It's just a big long grind to level over 60, and I say this is true across most games. Your first experience is going to be the hardest one, and that's true with a lot of cases. And I think I can back that up while we do this very long adventure together. The grind was the biggest thing because back in vanilla, I wouldn't notice for till nearly a decade later that it was just a long grind fest. There wasn't any substantial way to level your character. There would be quests in an area, but there wouldn't be enough to get you through to the next zone. And this is where you had the infamous guys who had that little gray explanation point over their head. People who play vanilla would know what I'm talking about. They had that little gray explanation point over their head. Ding, you leveled, and then you go see him. It's like, do I have that quest? Is it unlocked? And he just be probably standing with a smug face, like, nah, you're not ready yet, dude. You're not ready yet to level or to do this quest because it is super hard. And that was one thing that I think a lot of people would take away from vanilla leveling. Why am I in combat is the question. What is targeting me? Nothing. Okay, so we can go back and turn all these quests in. But that's kind of like the truth of what was going on. Did I understand that was supposed to be the game? Oh, of course not. That was complete. I didn't know a damn thing about how this game was supposed to run. I probably play on a potato computer for all I know, compared to what we play on now in terms of PCs. But you can play on World of Warcraft on anything.
What do you require?
Get all that taken care of. Oh, it's supposed to be the guy we're supposed to kill. But that was kind of like the essence of playing vanilla WoW, was just a grind fest, and the character I would end up sticking with, excuse me, till the end of till Wrath the Lich King. Till Wrath the Lich King, I want to say, yeah, Wrath would be my undead rogue. So it's probably the only character I have now that has lived through vanilla WoW. That is pretty much something I can say for a fact. All my other vanilla characters have been deleted, transferred to other accounts. Yeah, my rogue is probably my longest standing character, and you kind of form like this bond of them. It's like I don't play him anymore, but I'm keeping him because I have these memories. And I think one thing I think people of Twinks would know I'm about to talk about is the battleground system. And it's how it levels. So the way leveling worked back then. Let's skip this cutscene because actually no, I don't want to skip this. Actually, no, I've seen this before. All this is completely arbitrary to me. I just here to level and see what's happened. Wasn't this a human town before? I swear this was a human town before, like not like an alliance town you go like have vendors with, but this was an actual questing zone, I believe. Did they get rid of it? Did they change this back in Cataclysm? I haven't been here forever, so that's probably true. I distinctly remember this being a human-esque town with a bunch of farmers in it. Flesh sample, citizen Wilkes, clerk, whistle steed. What the heck is this? Those screams? Those are people screaming. That's like from the Death Knight opening scene. Slay 15 humans? Do the right thing. Oh, they plant them in the... Oh my god. Oh my god, they plant these humans here as seeds for plants. Oh my god. Shovel you. Shovel you. These guys are really buried in the ground. Hey, hey. This is my farmland, you peasant. Get out of here. Stupid ghoul. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. And lends you a hand. Alright, I've already freed 2 humans. Yeah, y'all can die. Get out of here. They must pay tribute. Oh my goodness. Who's this guy? Oh, I need to kill this guy. Freaking undead. Execute. Get out of here. Boosh. Got him. Alright, we'll free the rest of them. I just wanted to kill them. There we go. Do the right thing. Oh, we get the shovel. The shovel of mercy. So dumb. I shouldn't say dumb, but I say that like it's silly, because why would you come back here and do this? Maybe for RP purposes. Oh my goodness. So weird. Ooh. Battle of Hillsbrad. Strength arguments last 62 days. I think that's all of them. That's very weird as well. But, oh god, I completely lost my train of thought. I was so enamored by just bashing their skulls, and that has to be like a very infamous quest. It was down here now. Oh, we got sweeping strikes. Put it on G. Good old G. Good lord. Oh wait, I need to talk to someone.
Hello.
Okay, gotta turn on the quest then. That's how it works. But I think I'm talking about the grind of vanilla, about how that's how it's supposed to go down. And oh, because of my rogue. Because he was my favorite. So why did I? So why a rogue, of all things? Well, I'll just leave you guys alone. You guys look fine.
Glory to the Sindori. We will have justice.
Oh, we gotta get this. I need to kill people now? Oh, okay, so but why a rogue? Well, I think because a lot of people chose rogues for a good reason. Is because they were super powerful. You could stack stuns upon stuns of each other. You know, cheap shot, go into a what was it, five kidney shot combo, and you're stunned for like a good 10-ish seconds if you time it right. Not to mention the other things like cold-blooded, which guarantee you a crit on your next ability use. So 5-stack combo, cold-blooded and eviscerate or envenom, and then boom, you're done. Or I should say they're done because you're killing them. Or if you're the victim of it, you're also dead as well. I did that way too many times. I remember doing that on quest mobs. Like, where was I? I was doing a daily quest somewhere, and or a quest, and and they're gone. You son of a bitch! Give me your quest.
What victory lies ahead?
Speak quickly.
This had to be a cataclysm change because that Mauler right there is from ICC. But yeah, my rogue was my favorite character all the way through Burning Crusade. I think I remember having fond adventures of him, skill leveling. There's a God, I don't know where to start with on all those skills that have been pruned out over the years.
Yes. Hold your head high.
Am I going to be playing Classic WoW? I think that should be a question I should answer now is yes, because there's one thing that I have not done. There's one thing that I did not get to do in both the Burning Crusade and Vanilla WoW, and that is raid. One of my favorite activities in this game. I have raided since Naxxramas 10 back in Wrath of the Lich King. And I've done just about every raid since then. I've probably missed 2 tiers. I think Throne of Thunder. This guy's doing some bad stuff. He's a piece of his own mess. And Totally. Boom! Another level. Why'd you disappear like that?
Goodbye.
Ooh, we gotta take someone's head? I gotta take his head? What'd he do? He was so nice to me. Ah, well, whatever. Let's see what happens. Oh. Alive? Oh, he overthrew him. You've broken my heart for the last time. True death. It's funny because they're already undead. What's going on? This guy's really angry. Well, yeah, because he's a mad scientist. That's why he's deranged. What the heck? Oh, they're... That's the request for all these guys. What the heck? It's interesting faces every game. Oh, good lord. Jesus.
This had better be good. Make me for Sylvanas.
Oh, the ruins of South Shore? Aww. Actually, I was aware of this, because I think it's the one thing I do remember when I last came here was South Shore was destroyed, and very sad moment. But back to Classic WoW. I will be playing that game. I think it's because I want to do the raiding. Something I've, like I said, been doing for a very long time, and something I think I should take a good part in. Nah, don't want that. Don't want that. Not like this. Not like this. Ah, these all suck. These all suck. But It's on. My first raid, like I said, was Nax 10. I could go back and do classic Nax, which is 40-man Nax, something that has revered to this day as like one of the hardest raids out there. I think it will be put to debate because a very, very low percent of the player base ever got to one, step in Nax, and two, let alone complete it. That's an achievement I think very few have. I think the veterans who stand out the most are the transmog people who have the corrupted Ashbringer, not the paladin one that you can get through secrets and digging. But the classic Ashbringer, the original corrupted Ashbringer that could drop off the 4 horsemen, nowadays is replaced by the Armageddon two-handed sword, the sword that I wanted when I first stepped into the raid. I was like, if this sword drops, I want it. And I think that's something that has been kind of lost now in the WoW we play, the World of Warcraft we play today, is that drive to get something that you want. I don't want to get into too much of what I think of the state of WoW now, because this is kind of like a story, a little bit of a story time for me to say what I've gone through in WoW. But raiding, 40-man raids, that's something I have been enticed by. It's probably my favorite, I guess you could say, childhood stories that I've heard is the quote-unquote glory of 40-man raiding. The closest thing I have to a 40-man experience is either the raiding the enemy faction cities, which is as rare it is these days. The other one, much more common one, is Altered Valley or Isles of Conquest, and specifically Altered Valley. One of, and still to this day, my favorite battlegrounds. That's probably one of the few instances you have to this day of 40-man experience. And it blows my mind that all the games I've played that claim to be big, epic in scale, they don't match what I feel in Altered Valley. And I'll try to prove that sometime when I get the chance. Because there's something really special when you get into a really good game. Not just the Zergfest that it kind of is known for as today, but a true Altered Valley battle.
I watch. I listen.
Come here. Give me that. Oh, I don't have Heroic Leap yet. But, I want to experience that in a raiding environment. I want to experience what it's like to be in that 40-man scenario, because the most I've ever been in for a raid is the 30 with this current system that we have now. Which is where you can raid with at least 10 people, but the game scales up to 30 for normal and heroic. That is the closest I've been to, is a full 30-man raid. Most people who go for that top-end rating or want to do the hardest content now just do Mythic. Something I would say for another time as well. All these little teases that I want to throw out there as I do this grand adventure.
I serve the
I have to go for these ladies like this. We'll just mount up and find somebody else. Let's do somebody else. That wolf is gonna go get that elf over there. Oh, that silly walk.
What do you seek?
I think if I was to level an alliance, I'd probably go with Worgen. There's very few alliance other than humans that and dwarves that would play as, like, in a serious environment. But yeah, the 40-man race, that's just something I want to know. I want to do for myself. And there's a lot of little things, like, I guess you could call them, like, personal goals that you want to do. Because, funny enough, that we're playing a warrior. There's actually one quest. You can't do it anymore now, but when you get to Classic WoW, you will be able to. Was a stance quest, the Berserker stance quest. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, back in the day, way back, from like vanilla through Wrath, through Wrath, there were class trainers. Nowadays, they don't exist. And when I say they don't exist, like as in like they don't bear any significance. You'll see them in your starting zones and your major cities, like Orgrimmar, Ironforge, but they bear no need. They are just useless NPCs that do a little bit of their own RP, and that's it. That's all they're there for. Back in the day, you had to go to your class trainer every few days, or not every few days, but every few levels to learn the new rank. And every so often they would give you a quest. Not the quest you see now where you're supposed to be go slay this guy and bring me some supplies and I'll craft you a weapon, but go on this grand adventure for me. Go on this grand adventure for me, and I will reward you with a spell, a crucial spell. And one of those spells was obviously defensive stance for warriors. That's the first one you get. And at level 30? I want to say it's level 30 that you get it at. You'll be given a quest to get your Berserker stance. It's the final of the 3 stances. It's kind of like the more wild of them. It's the stance Berserker. But I just could not understand it. I didn't understand the tools at the time. I had no mods, I didn't have the knowledge to go to Google and search it in and how to do the Berserker stance quest. The next one's going to be, and the other one's going to be the Whirlwind Axe quest. For people who know what I'm talking about, the Whirlwind Axe was an axe you got as you got the ability Whirlwind. You had to get a quest for it. You just didn't learn it as you do now. Like, where is it? Whirlwind. There it is. Level 40. You didn't learn that naturally. I had to do a quest for Whirlwind. And until I gave up on my warrior, I think I was near level 40, 10 levels after I was initially supposed to get it. I never got it. And so here I am now with Classic WoW coming in the summer. I want it. I want to go back and get it just to know that I actually have that part of me done. I don't live the rest. I won't be able to live and say like, yeah, I just never got Berserker stance, or I never got the Whirlwind. Sure, I could get it now on private servers, but from what I see, private servers have a bunch of bonus XPs. Obviously, they are different in each case. Everyone has their own favorites. I won't judge on what was the best private server. I've only been to one private server, and it was an extreme XP boost. You just went there. They want some blood. Oh no! There we go. The mouse fixed itself. Faithful Steve. Oh, that's that dragon we saw earlier. But I'm glad I'm gonna be able to finish that quest now. So I can actually get that weapon. The other big one, I think it's probably the biggest one yet, or not the biggest one, the most famous of the class quest in vanilla was the Warlock quest. You had to do a quest every 10 levels to get your demons. In a true RPG fashion. This guy can't swim.
What do you need? Gold. For the Horde. Throw home.
guy's so weird. But he's supposed to be like some kind of like true badass, and they can't do the simplest of tasks. Red like my rage. What is this?
Strength and honor. Samsung. Loktar.
Oh my god, another cutscene. This is so weird. But this is something I want to do when the game comes out in the summer, is be able to do that. And I just want to know I'm not have to rely on something that's not fully completed. And there's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no altering of the gameplay, so you say. Who are these guys? What are they talking about? Oh, are these the Altered Valley people? Ah, speak of the devils. Yeah, these are Altered Valley people. That's the captain and there's the general you have to kill to win the game. Oh, interesting. How they put them in questing now. What the heck? The camera just... Alright, whatever.
Go forth to victory.
Can't I gotta get mushrooms for this guy? Killed a god. I was able to kill a god. Go give me some mushrooms, you peon. I don't care that he's slain a god. But yeah, that's kind of how that's kind of how I am about World of Warcraft right now, or I should say in hype of vanilla. I'm very excited for it, and I'm kind of glad I'm actually doing this little long adventure trek back into some old zones I've never done before, or haven't been to in a while. Black canisters, give me that. Give me that. But yeah, what do you guys think of Classic WoW? I should probably post that question to you for you guys to dwell upon and write about, because I know it's kind of like this huge point of desire, I think is the correct word, amongst the communities. Like, people wanted this game back, and I say this game because vanilla World of Warcraft, Classic, however you want to call it or remember it by, is something completely different than what we have now in Battle for Azeroth. It is a completely different game, and I'm excited for it. It's one of those, it's because there's a market, I believe, out there now in where, oh shit, doggy, I did not ask for this. I think there's been quite a surge lately in bringing old games back that people love. Oh, that's bad. This slime. There's been a surge back in playing old games. And a lot of these old games, they are coming with, like, remastered settings. One of my first that I've played was Halo Remastered, and I liked it. I like that some of these developers are going back and bringing these these classic games of old to people who have gotten older, either introduce them to an audience that has never seen them. They may have heard them from their parents, and they're like, "Oh, I should try this game out." It's this old game my parents talk about, but it has graphics like what I like today. And then there's the people who just get the nostalgia feeling of, like, yes, I can now bring this game, play it in HD, and relive those memories like I had in the past. And I think that's what World of Warcraft is going to do. Or for Classic WoW, it's going to bring this old player base back, who have been there, they've experienced it, and they're going to enjoy it. And then there's the people who may have came after. They may have come after the Cataclysm happened. Like they played Cataclysm, Mop, Warlords, whatever they started. They never experienced what Classic WoW was. They played World of Warcraft by a different iteration, therefore by a different game. What was the original take on World of Warcraft like? How did it function both mechanically and, you know, story-wise? Was there a story to the game? Because if you asked me, if you asked nine-year-old me what the story of World of Warcraft was, I couldn't tell you a darn thing. I couldn't tell you a darn thing about the story. I couldn't tell you who any major characters are. Maybe a few from me testing out Warcraft 3 and stuff, but I honestly couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who that guy in the city, that guy in Ironforge, that guy in Ironforge, I couldn't tell you who he was, what his story was. All I know is that he was a guy. Every time I clicked on him, he had a skull for a level, and I thought he was probably one of the coolest things ever. I thought, I want a skull level. I want to look like that to somebody. They can, to the right people. But I could probably live that old game in a different setting now. Whew.
Farewell.
Oh Lord, that's a lot of quests and a lot of XP. I think we'll get these mushrooms, do whatever this orc has to do, and I think I will do a dungeon for us. I think that's what we will, or what I'll take us on to, because dungeons, I think, are always something that, you know, people know WoW by. There are these infamous dungeons that players have either had very fond adventures and memories of, or just the absolute hellhole that they were in. It's like, I'm living a personalized hell in this digital universe. But there's a piece of item that I want, and I will do whatever it takes to get this darn thing done. Who are these gnolls? Oh, excuse me, I have for some reason. Oh, these gnolls, I have not seen them in a long time. There we go. Got it. That button. That button. Skadoosh. The terrible little creature. Slate. Aww. Ooh, we should charge him. Charge! Alright, now to get these shrooms, get this guy to either blaze them or have his dragon blaze them. Whatever he is. Or whatever he wants them for. And then slay some gnolls. But, what was I gonna say about my adventures in WoW? This is a place I don't remember coming to. But yeah, like, a different game, that's right. Different game, different environments, and I would say there's a lot of differences now. I think would I make the argument now that if I was to make the same character, oh boy, doggy. If I was to make the same character now, play him to max level in a vanilla WoW, which is a warrior, an orc warrior. If I were to remake him into vanilla WoW, maxing out to level 60, and then compare it to a level 120 Orc Warrior, which do I think would have the more fun? I think right now I would argue Vanilla WoW. Unfortunately, I would call that an unfortunate circumstance because I think the devices in place, the satisfaction that I get from playing World of Warcraft would be magnified playing Vanilla WoW. Not in like a huge sense. I still get satisfaction by killing raid bosses and stuff and getting like these high-end achievements, like ahead of the curve, cutting edge. That's one I shouldn't say, but that's one I've gotten in the past. But I would argue that I would have more fun in an overall sense playing vanilla than I am playing in BFA. Did I have fun unlocking this race I'm playing? Oh yeah, I think it was a great time going back to classic, going back to Draenor and unlocking these guys. Do I think I would have fun like not having these little cosmetic things such as transmog or flying? I think I would miss it, but I'd also... This is twice you've done this to me, my dude. Can you just leave me alone while I tell the story about what I would like? But I think one thing I would probably enjoy of the RPG or that's not RPG, but more or less a grind session, or more or less a motivational thing, I guess you could call it as well, is getting your first mount. This character I played right here, when I started this, level 20, I already had a mount. No gold, no nothing. You just had a mount ready to go. Vanilla days, you had to grind that out. You had to get to level 40, I believe. Yeah, level 40. And that was your slow mount. This is a mount you can't get anymore. It looks already awesome. Oh, great, another cutscene. But I loved getting my first mount. I remember just going back to places like Brill, or was it Orgrimmar? You would see those mounts and you're like, I need that horse. I need that wolf. Or a Kodo. Kodo was another one that stood out to me, was the Torn one. And what was it, 5 gold for the mount itself, and then the training price was just something ridiculous for the time. It was like 150 or 100 gold. I might be mixing up. I might be confused there. I want to say it was like close to 100 gold for both speeds. And do I need to speak to this guy again? Oh, there he is.
Blood and
Scumbag. Yeah. Alright, come here. Alright, come here. Let's all rile you up with freaking dwarfs. Yeah. Rally these guys up. Get them going. But I keep losing track of what I'm saying. This is, oh god, I need to get back into this. I don't know how to multitask. I'll probably recheck what I watched and make sure what I was talking about. Let's probably just change. Constant combat. This is what the guy is talking about. The humans of dwarfs and South Shore would constantly attack the horde at Terra Mill. There were days when you could look out past the intersection of Darrow Hill and see 1,000 people battling. Glory days, player. They'll pass you by. That right there, that sentence that I just read on screen of what he said is exactly what Hillsbrad Hills was in a nutshell. Now that, I wouldn't say they've been doing that for a long time, but thousands of, I would say thousands. There weren't thousands of people, but in Hillsbrad, fighting for Terra Mill or South Shore. There were probably hundreds. Maybe depending on the server you were on. Like, if you're on, like, a high-populated server... Oh god, I couldn't tell you, like, what perfect 50-50 server was. But if we're on a high-pop server, like World of Warcraft, I think that's probably the best example I can think of. If there was a World of Warcraft, or even Emerald Dream, like these PvP type servers, or even a normal server like I was on Bronzebeard, you hear the horns of like, Tar Mill's under attack. We need reinforcements. And this is a player, mind you, calling for help. It's like, guys, the Alliance is attacking Terra Mill. We need help. All the big name level 60s, or people close to level 60s, getting ready to make a name for themselves. It's like, oh, we gotta go now. We gotta go. Fly now. Go to the Undercity. Get your flights going. And they would just spawn this battle of, like, this war of attrition that would go on for hours, basically, until people got bored or like, all right, we're heavily outnumbered. Let's just call it a day, admit defeat, retreat to our cities, and pay our repair bills. And that was it. That was the essence of Terra Mill and South Shore. And did it feel like there were thousands of people? Yeah, if the lag fest was correct, you would have hundreds, it feel like thousands of people. Like, these sheer armies would just congregate. What are you doing? I have a plan of my own. but that's the thing.
Loktar.
He will be fine. He's gonna make the ultimate sacrifice.
Strength and honor.
Alright, he's saying, let's do this. Get the plants and go. Oh, I loot him. Oh, he died. I don't know, is his pet gonna go get him? Oh, this dragon saved him. How nice. Oh, such a wonderful end to his story. But what a great way to end that little storyline. You're the best friend that I could ever had. Aww. What a nice story. But yeah, no, I think this guy perfectly described what I was trying to tell you about this zone. This, I wouldn't say masterpiece, but this very famous one that has gone down in video game history and the history of this game itself. I don't think anyone would. I think anyone who will play this game when vanilla comes out is the Terra Mill and South Shore. I think that will immediately spawn just all of these ideas. Sure, it'll be battlegrounds like Warsong Gulch, Arathi Basin, Altric Valley. Those three, the core three there will still be there. But I think if the server is right, we will be able to see those old battles again. No score, no time limit, just a bunch of people coming forth and just fighting each other to the death.
Speak, friend.
Oh, he is dead.
Thrall Hall.
Then who do I turn this into? Who do I turn it into?
Blood and thunder.
Because we're here in Terra Mill. Might as well turn. Oh, there he is. Hadui.
Magraw.
Boots of the
Go
hero.
forth, victory.
Nah. There we go. Our first upgrade of our entire play session. Or I should say the first of many play sessions. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are too. I think this is where I will stop the leveling of questing for now. I'll be back. I'll cut to this again when we do a dungeon. We'll do one random dungeon. I think that will be the adventure for today. As soon as I sell all my gear, we'll get in a queue now because who's gonna be looking for a dungeon? Why manually find one when you can just let the game do it yourself? We have these systems in play. Alright, come here. Okay, you're not gonna take any of my stuff. I have to manually sell you everything. No mods, no nothing. It's a shame I have to do that. I have to sell all this stuff myself.
Embrace the shadow.
Oh my goodness. But yes, what a wonderful start. When I cut back from this, we will be in a dungeon. I don't know what the dungeon's gonna be. We're playing to roll the dice, and that'll be it. So until I return in this dungeon. Here we are. Welcome back. We have made it back, thanks to the magic of editing, and we are jumping into our very first dungeon on this character. The very famous Wailing Caverns.
The loom be with you.
Greetings, traveler.
This is probably, I think this place is very famous for its being very long. It's probably one of the longest dungeons they've ever made in this game. Even, oh god, has it even changed since the Cataclysm? I'll need to go back and find out. But this is a dungeon that very famously, there's one of the ones that has survived to be famous to this day. What does our grouping look like today? Priest, hunter, good old bear druid, a mage, a mage, and myself. And why do a dungeon? Why are dungeons a key feature of this game? Well, if you're gonna have an MMO experience, you need a multiplayer activity, and that's something that dungeons have given us, or has given me at least. They're actually one of my favorite activities, if I'm being fairly honest. A lot of my early stories of WoW come from dungeons, and this is one of them. Obviously, they're completely different now with the ability of doing LFD and just being able to just teleport in and out of a dungeon by sheer clicks of buttons. It's completely normal now these days, and it has been normal for nearly a decade. But since we've been talking about these stories of, classic WoW, one of the key features was discovering dungeons. That was actually one of my favorite things to do. Ooh, boss.
Serpent lords.
These old acting voice lines still exist. Oh no, he fell asleep. Our good old druid fell asleep. Oh, he's alive. But the idea of finding a new dungeon, I always want to find those purple portals and just be like, oh man, a dungeon. I wonder what's inside. And as a rogue, I had the great advantage of sneaking in and discovering this place. It's almost like a scout in terms of the RPG aspect. Was this idea to scout ahead? It's like, oh my goodness, I found this dungeon. What's it like? And, we find like the Wailing Caverns, or one of my famous ones was what was it? The Burning Crusade ones, Hellfire Ramparts. That one. And I'm sneaking all by these red orcs. I'll show them when we get there. And I would just sneak ahead until I find the first boss. I'm like, oh, there's a boss. He has a name. He has a high-ranking name. And I would just dream of like, I must go in at an appropriate level. I must find I must use zone chat and find a dungeon group to do this, because most of the time there's a quest there. Most of the time there's a quest there. Tank push a lot. Oh, like people are chatting. I'm having a lot of fun with this. This group's actually very exciting. I know my chat's hidden. I know I've hid it on purpose because of I fear of some of the people I'm going to come across. They might say something, you know, inappropriate or wrong. But what this mage is having a little bit of fun with us. He's having a little bit of fun with us, and I'm gonna be a funny guy with him, make this a good dungeon run, and give you guys a good time. If anyone says something, I'll be sure to read it out. It's like I did with that orc quest we did earlier before we joined here, and try to put that into context of what I'm trying to retell here with these WoW stories. Because I think a lot of people like to think there's a lot of toxicity in WoW, whether it's just, you know, one person or a guild, whatever the case may be. But it really isn't. I've actually come across quite a lot of nice people. One of my first guilds were just nothing but nice people to me. And are you going to encounter toxic people? Yes. In all forms of the game. There's no single style of play where you won't find a toxic person. Is our tank new? Is tank new? I'm actually really curious because that's towards the. Our mage just linked the damage meters. Oh, this guy's got an ego, scumbag. You go down here, don't you? You're supposed to go down here. Yeah, jump down, right? This guy has to be new. We're in for an adventure audience. This guy is taking us on an adventure. Our good little furry friend here is taking us on an adventure, and oh man, what time to join. Yep, waiting. I don't want to be that guy who like pushes ahead. The tank has to be new. This guy has to be new. Is this a common thing now? Like, are people like still new to this game? Like, even 15 years later, are people still joining World of Warcraft? I'm actually really curious, like, how new this is. Oh, I kind of want to expect him just to know. Like, he's level 20. Alright, he's level 20. What is he? There's a regular Torn. So he's been leveling from scratch. He's down in a guild. The mage seems to have taken point here. Like, he's leading. Like, he has to be lost. Oh, he changed forms. Okay, I'm actually really curious about this guy. Sorry to hold off on the stories, but this is actually like the beauty of finding these stories. Is you just go on your adventures and you just don't know. You really don't know of what's going to happen when you join a dungeon of a group of random people on the internet. To me, that's what I like about the game, is that you just meet people you've never met, could be a completely different walk of life, and they leave an impact on you. Certainly I've done that in cases. I've impacted and both been impacted by people. And you just carry that story of like, you can be like to your friends, like, boy, I got a story for you about this guy I met in the game, and he just did the silliest thing, or he said the silliest thing, or he gave you a piece of advice. There's turtle, get the turtle, get the turtle. I have a ninja pull this guy. No, don't leave me. No, send help. Group, Send help! Turtle! Turtle! Okay, he's taunting aggro. Where's our tank going? I'm very curious of where he's going. Yay, we got him. Oh, I got a neck piece. My first ever neck piece. Oh, is it still personal loot? Oh. That makes me really sad, actually. Oh. Yeah, I still have to, you know, there's no more need or greed in these dungeons? Oh, am I not looting these guys? Oh no, I'm stupid. Ah, there's plenty of them. I'll be fine. I just realized that I'm supposed to be doing a quest. Is he new? Everyone, okay, so just to keep everybody up, because there's actually a story in developing right now. Everyone's baffled by our druid tank here. Our good old druid tank friend here. We are we're all just baffled. I think everyone here, minus this guy, has been in this dungeon before. This is amazing. Oh my god, like, until we solve this mystery of this druid, whether he's new or not, whether he's just on his own little crusade or whatever he is, he has mesmerized this group that we are all in together. Mesmerized. Oh my god. I will try to tell my story of dungeons, because I do have a very fond dungeon memory. Not of this place, but a very, oh god, remembered, I should say. I don't want to put these dungeons in bad light, because none of these, I don't think I've ever had like a truly bad dungeon experience in World of Warcraft. I had a few of them. I had rare of them, so this should I should bring up how I played World of Warcraft. What was my experience like growing up back in those days? So, as I mentioned before, or I should reiterate, that I was an undead rogue. My entire family who did play WoW were all Horde. All of us were undead, actually. Shockingly, all of us were undead. Once we all settled on a character we wanted, we all settled for undead. Either purposely or non-purposely, we were all undead. I was a rogue. My dad was a mage, just like our troll friend here, and my uncle was a warlock. And so, one dungeon we all needed to do at one point was Scarlet Monastery. And it wasn't like in the two sections that we know as today. The Mr. Pandaria remix of Scarlet Monastery. It was this four-winged, multi-dungeon monastery, and this is for a small building containing 4 dungeons. It was huge in scale, and so we did probably like one of the noobish things we probably could have all done during that time was take all 3 of us and go in. We didn't have no tank. Well, I have to say I was a tank. I was a guy who held out aggro as a rogue, of all things. So I had to. Got an itch. What a horrible time to have an itch. So I had to take the aggro as a rogue because I was the melee guy, while my dad was the glass cannon of mages with his pyroblastas and stuff, and he would CC. I would CC. I don't think I ever used sap. I probably thought sap was a useless spell at the time. Oh my god, it's cringy, but it's funny to look back on yourself when you've played these old games. Like, wow, I was really bad, but I could do nothing but smile because it was a learning experience. Is there true voice to look? Did he fall? Did he fall? Did our druid guy fall? Did our tank fall through the gap? I think he fell through the gap. Oh my goodness, he fell. Oh, this poor dude. I honestly might tank this. I honestly might just get a tank, like my tank spec rolling. Ah, I'm asleep. Ah, save me. Oh, wait, that was a pointless ability to attack to use with. Oh my god, but so I did Scarlet Monastery with my dad and my uncle. We 3-manned it, and it was an adventure. I don't remember if we ever completed all of the dungeons. I think my only memory I remember. What's this guy? What is this guy? I'm glad I made it back. Oh, please taunt. Thank you. He was hurting me a lot. He hurts a lot. Oh, don't hide him. But no, it was definitely a cringe for the experience, but also a learning one. And then my only experience was of the cathedral part, the final one with Inquisitor Whitemane and was it Mograine at the time? I think his name was Mograine. The guy you kill, and then Whitemane comes out, and she's like, "Rise, my champion!" Blah. And she rests him, and I have to deal with 2 bosses. And we're like, and I remember my dad and my uncle were like, "Oh shit, we fucked up. We fucked up. I don't think we're gonna be able to do this, guys. Yeah, we'll just call it quits from here because we've been here for hours." And again, it's that learning experience that you carry on with you for the rest of your time. Whew. Good lord. Good lord, good lord, good lord. And that's kind of what I enjoy about these dungeons. That's the emphasis I'm trying to tell you guys, is that I enjoy these dungeons for these stories you get to have with other people. How have I not found any serpent bloom yet? Oh, there's one. But, and that's what I like about these MMOs, is that, you know, you're doing these things, these activities, whether they're queuable or to find people yourself. You're banding together to do these, to conquer these bosses, to conquer these adventures, for loot, whether it's leveling loot or endgame loot. You're doing it together as a team, whether it's voice comms or just text chat. It's what you got. Yay! I got my hides. All right, let me get some serpent bloom, please. Thank you, friends. And that's kind of one thing I want to play for Classic WoW for. That's why I wanted to have that. That's why I had that discussion earlier, or probably this continuous discussion of why I'm playing Classic WoW. It's because I want to have these experiences. Dire Maul, another infamous multi-wing dungeon. Come here, son of a biscuit. Is that Dire Maul, a multi-dungeon, multi-level dungeon, I should say, that became infamous because it had these endgame quests. I remember I was watching a video today about Warlock's legacy and, you know, what they had growing up in vanilla. I believe that's where they had to get their Felsteed mount. Not the 40 one, but the epic version. the epic version, the one that they can summon around now, they most commonly see. And again, it's these. Excuse me. If I told you my Feralith experience, I just know that there's. What is it, Camp Mawashi? That it's a Tauren town in Feralith where your most of your questing was done. You had that. You had some ogres you kill, and other than that, you're just killing a bunch of trees. That's honestly my experience of Feralith back in Classic. I never knew about Dire Maul and stuff. I don't think I even came close to it. Is there a chest there? No chest. Okay. Good. We're doing well, people. And so that was my experience of these certain zones. And have I brushed to the side? Yeah, I brushed to the side. The only way I was able to dig it up is because I dropped Dire Maul. And so, dungeons, for me, I think are playing the foundations of, like, am I going to enjoy these multiplayer-esque experiences? If I'm going to love dungeons, maybe I'll enjoy a raid. The pinnacle of endgame content in World of Warcraft. And in there, it's 8 times bigger. Sure, are there, like, similar mobs? Yes. Are there actual bosses? Like, skull-level bosses? Yes, there are. And you need 40 people. That's almost an army in terms of people. That's a literal army of players. Oh, damn it. That is a literal army of players banding together to kill elemental lords or giant dragons. They're all banding together. And you get this. And I feel you get the feeling of epicness. It would just be insane seeing everyone spread out and stuff. Like, you know, tell X class to do this or X class to do that. Like, which I think it would feel important to bring these classes along. I think another thing I haven't mentioned yet is, I'm not sure how to word this actually. Might brush it aside. Yeah, I've got lots of train of thought here. I think the story of our druid friend here has kind of faded away. He's stuck with us, he hasn't gotten lost. He's completely enamored us. Enamored me. I think we're all just moving along, carrying on with the dungeon and stuff. I need that quest done. Oh, he disappeared from me. I'm like, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Heroic strike or something? Come here. Is there a point to this dungeon, like story-wise? Isn't there like a curse? Or something? Or maybe as a horde we're just here to just kill a bunch of night elves. I think one thing people will talk about dungeons now is that they take a lot. Dungeons back in the day, that's how I'm supposed to word it. Back in the day, it's not smoke or anything. Back in the day, these dungeons would take forever because you have to get everybody together. Oh, son of a bitch. Down there. You have to get everybody together, run to the dungeon, which could be multiple zones away. Not there, not there. Where's a serpent plume that I'm missing? I'm missing one. Oh! You have to run to the zone, or run to the dungeon itself, potentially summon people there if there was a summoning stone back in the day, and then enter the dungeon on foot. I'm sure some dungeons were built within dungeons. I think. Don't quote me on that. has to be serpent bloom around here somewhere. Nothing. But those dungeons would take forever because leveling, you didn't have, you know, items like heirlooms back in the day. You were stuck with the clown suit you were in leveling, and you could go levels, literal multiple levels without an upgrade. And so you're at the mercy of kind of your group and your friends.
Show me
Neither of these. Which one has the bigger? Give me that.
Illuminate your
Oh. Well, no silver bloom for me. BRB on follow. Oh, there goes our mage. He's on follow. This guy's gonna get so wrecked. Got that guy. I think William Craven's now kind of represents, like, you know, what dungeons were like back in the day. I think that's something I could brought up. What I mean by that is that it wasn't just a linear dungeon that we have a lot these days. It's like you have a beginning, and then you go through a dungeon killing bosses, and you get to the last boss, and you're done. Collect your loot and get out. With this dungeon, you have to go back to the beginning to activate the final boss. Like, and that's something you don't see that very often. Is this retraction period of a boss or of a dungeon. It's like, okay, we've done this checklist. We've gotten rid of the source of corruption, and now we must go take out the heart of it. If I said that correctly, you must take it as source. We've destroyed its conduits. Now we must go and deal with it at its source. Ah, poor Hunter. He's being left behind. And so then you're lead to this epic finale of saving this person and then getting the final boss and then getting the loot. To me, that's a good design. Should that be in every dungeon? Should there be like this retraction idea that involves the little sense of story there are in a dungeon? I think it should be put in there every so often because it adds value to what you're doing. It makes it a memorable first experience, and you feel like, you know, you're not just going in to conquer a place. You're here to help these people because they can't do it themselves. Oh, there's another guy. Shoot him! Oof. There he goes. That's slime. Oh, slime! Tank, save me! We should probably talk about different roles and stuff. And that's a topic for another time, actually, because we're getting to the close to the end of this dungeon. This, our big boy, where is he? Is he like a giant murloc or something? Like a giant murloc? There it is. Yep, there's the murloc. Kaboosh. Ah, now he stunned me. Save me, group. Drake's been mind control. No! No! Why you do this to me? Oh, the healer. You shoot the spell. Oh, there I go. Oh, yeah, he's back. There we go. That's kind of how dungeons should feel like this little event, this little side adventure, in which you.
I am awake at last.
You have a good dream, sir. More boots. Not that great. But I think that's what a dungeon should feel like. This kind of like this adventure. This is kind of like my closing thoughts on how I should feel in a dungeon. It should feel like this adventure, whether you are going to save a town or you're going to just conquer a small fortress. You should have that satisfaction feeling of doing what you did. Whether you got loot in the end or not, that would be a motivation to come back and redo this thing. And I think that's what I take from this. In all the dungeons I do, whether they're good or bad, it's completely subjective to the player themselves and their experiences. And with that, I think this is I'll be pausing the adventure of our little orc warrior from here on out, or from here. But until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Please feel free to like, comments, and feel free to subscribe some more if you're enjoying this. Let me know what your adventures are through dungeons. I'll be doing a lot more of these in the future because I'm actually having the grandiest of times with Special Death Fiasco in the beginning with our little druid friend. But until then, have a nice day, everybody.